Imagine standing on the shore of time, watching five great empires rise and fall like waves against the same unchanging coastline. Each one thought its power would last forever. Each believed its currency, its armies, its influence were unshakable. But history has a quiet rhythm. It whispers that no empire, no matter how mighty, escapes the cycle of rise, peak, overreach, and decline. For 5 centuries, this pattern has remained the same. From the golden sails of Portugal, to the silver coins of Spain, to the ledgers of Amsterdam, to the industrial pound, and finally, the dollar. 5 empires, 5 currencies. One repeating story, and today that story seems to be reaching its final verse. So the question is, if history rhymes, is the dollar next? The year was 1450, the world was expanding, and Portugal was its compass. With new ships, daring explorers, and an unshakable belief that the oceans could be conquered, Portugal built the first global network of trade. Their currency, the Portuguese real, became the passport of commerce. Accepted imports from Africa to India, it was more than money. It was proof that Portugal had unlocked the world. But every discovery comes at a cost. The same seas that brought wealth also brought war. Maintaining distant colonies and fleets drained the treasury. Within a century, Portugal's crown gleamed less brightly. When Spain absorbed it in 1580, the first empire's reign quietly ended. The cycle had begun. Spain inherited more than Portugal's lands. It inherited its ambition. From the mountains of Potosi flowed rivers of silver, the lifeblood of the world economy. The Spanish piece of 8 became the first truly global currency, circulating from Europe to the Americas, even to Asia. For a time it seemed unstoppable. But silver, like power, can corrupt from within. Wealth poured in faster than wisdom could manage it. Prices soared, wars multiplied. Kings borrowed, defaulted, and borrowed again. When the silver slowed, Spain's economy cracked. The empire that once glittered brighter than any star began to dim. The cycle had spoken. Wealth without balance is ruin disguised as triumph. Then came the Dutch, small in size, enormous in innovation. In the 1600s, Amsterdam became the world's financial brain. The Dutch guilder, backed by trade, trust, and the first modern stock exchange, was the currency of reason and precision. They didn't conquer through war. They conquered through numbers. The Bank of Amsterdam introduced stability, and merchants turned finance into an art form. But even the clever can fall victim to expansion. As global trade stretched thin and wars with England drained the treasury, the Dutch miracle began to waver. The same sea routes that once brought prosperity became corridors of cost. By the 1700s, Britain's industrial might had overtaken the Dutch intellect. The next empire was already waiting at the door. If the Dutch wrote the rules of finance, Britain industrialized them. The pound sterling became the most trusted currency on earth, backed by gold, industry, and empire. From India to Africa, from Australia to the Americas, British power stretched across 1/4 of the globe. For over 200 years, the world's trade ran through London. Ships left with goods and returned with wealth. But empire, like gravity, carries weight. Wars, revolutions, and the cost of control began to drag Britain down. 2 world wars within 3 decades turned the richest empire into a nation of debts. By 1944, Britain had won the war but lost its wealth. The world gathered in Bretton Woods to rebuild a broken system. And there quietly, the crown passed from the pound to the dollar. The British era had ended, and a new empire, born from victory, took its place. For 80 years, the dollar has reigned supreme. It became more than a currency. It became belief itself. Nations held it, traded it, trusted it. Oil was priced in it. Debt was measured in it. Even gold bowed to it. But beneath the strength of the dollar lies a familiar pattern. Empires begin with innovation. They rise through confidence, and they decline through overreach. The United States built its dominance on post-war industry and global stability. Yet, as the decades passed, its ambitions grew heavier. Endless wars, mounting debt, political division. Today, foreign reserves of dollars are quietly shrinking. New alliances, BRICS, digital currencies, and de-dollarization are rewriting the rules. The same signs that marked the decline of past empires are resurfacing. Only the names have changed. And the clock of history keeps ticking, as it always does. 5 empires. 5 currencies. One unbroken cycle. Portugal's real, Spain's silver, the Dutch guilder, the British pound, and the American dollar each lasted about a century. Each followed the same arc: rise, peak, overreach, and decline. Today, the dollar stands where the others once stood, powerful, proud, and perhaps fragile. The lesson is not just economic. It's human. When success becomes entitlement, when innovation turns into inertia, when debt replaces discipline, the fall begins quietly, long before anyone notices. History doesn't punish arrogance. It simply replaces it. If history rhymes, then we are living inside one of its verses. The dollar may not collapse tomorrow or even this decade, but every great empire believed the same until one day it no longer could. Perhaps the end of dollar dominance won't be a single event, but a slow fading like the sunset that follows every day, beautiful and inevitable. The question isn't whether the cycle ends. It's what comes next, and whether we, as individuals, learn from the pattern or repeat it. 500 years, 5 empires, one pattern, and maybe a sixth is already forming. What do you think comes next? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this journey through history insightful, be sure to subscribe for more.